you're looking at a live view of the 9 rocket and Dragon spacecraft set to launch the world's first all-civilian astronaut mission to orbit in just a little over 4 hours. Good afternoon. I am Jesse Anderson, a production and engineering manager here at SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California.
And I'm Andy Tran, a quality engineer. Welcome to the webcast for the Inspiration4 mission. Today is truly an incredible day as our 4 civilian astronauts, Jared Isaacman, Dr. Cyan Proctor, Haley Arsenault, and Chris Sembrowski, prepare to lift off from historic Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center in Florida. This crew will orbit the Earth for 3 days before splashing down in the Atlantic Ocean, and this will mark the first ever all-civilian mission, meaning that no one on board has a day job as an astronaut. We'll hear more about each of them and the incredible stories that brought them to be part of this mission later on today.
And even though this will be the crew's first trip to space, they are planning to make a big impact to the future of humanity, both here on Earth and beyond. Over the course of their 3-day journey, the Inspiration4 crew will be conducting a wide range of experiments to determine how regular people like you and me respond in a microgravity environment. The data they collect will be invaluable to furthering human exploration of space.
And as if making an impact to our future in space wasn't enough, the Inspiration4 crew is also using this mission to make an impact here on Earth. Inspiration4 Commander Jared Isaacman is using this mission to raise awareness and fundraise for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Jared donated $100 million from his own pocket and is seeking to raise an additional $100 million for St. Jude. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see that we've integrated a donation function for viewers. The Inspiration4 mission is currently at about $30 million of the targeted $100 million. So every dollar counts. Please donate if you can and encourage those around you to donate as well.
It's a really exciting day for us here at SpaceX, and it's already been a busy day for the Inspiration4 crew. And right now, we are currently awaiting walkout of the Inspiration4 crew from our Hangar X location at Cape Canaveral, Florida.
Yes, the crew has had a pretty busy day. They woke up about 3 hours ago and performed some medical checks. And then they finished up their meal and the doors are opening up. This is the first shot of our Inspiration4 crew members walking out of Hangar X.
This is amazing. There they are, our first all-civilian crew walking out of Hangar X. They look so excited. Right now, they're walking down this pathway, waving hi to family and friends, some SpaceX employees in the crowd as well.
Yes, this must be such an exciting and emotional time for them.
And the crew that you see there on your left-hand side, that was Chris Sembrowski. He is the mission specialist. To his right is Dr. Cyan Proctor, the pilot for this mission.
And to her, to the right of that is Jared Isaacman, the mission commander. And Jared is blocking Haley, but she's in the background there. That is the medical officer, Haley Arsenault.
What a sight to see. They look so excited. And this is just the beginning of the day for them. They're getting ready to get into the Teslas. You can see one of them there, where they will ride to the Falcon Support Building, which is where the SpaceX suit-up room is. And currently they're at Hangar X. You may be wondering what Hangar X is. This is our brand new facility at SpaceX, designed and built by SpaceX to house our refurbished vehicles.
So some of them are hopping into the car. In the first car, we have Dr. Cyan Proctor with Haley, and following them will be Jared and Chris. You can see the gull-wing doors of the Model X's closing there. And they should be, again, making their way to the Falcon Support Building. It's a couple miles down the road. They're going to be making a left out of here, heading north on Kennedy Parkway at Kennedy Space Center in Florida.
And they will take this one last moment as they're in their Teslas to say goodbye to their close family and friends. What a sight to see. They must be so excited. They're in their Teslas, about to make their way to the suit-up room. One last goodbye to their family and friends.
Yeah, they do have a long day ahead of them. You can see the countdown timer on the bottom of your screen. We are still 4 hours and some change away from liftoff. There is a lot of procedures that will happen over the next couple of hours, and we'll be here to walk you through all of that, and we'll be able to get some awesome views of the crew going through those procedures as well.
And they are currently sitting in their Teslas. These are not just any Teslas. These are the Teslas that we have used if you followed our crew missions. These are specially designed Teslas made to accommodate our SpaceX spacesuits. So they will utilize these even after they make it to the Falcon Support Building to drive to the launch pad. And there they are pulling off from Hangar X, now on their way to the Falcon Support Building, to our new SpaceX suit-up room.
Yes, there's a third Tesla there. That is support staff members of the closeout crew to support the astronauts in any way possible. So again, in the first car, we have Haley and Dr. Cyan Proctor. And in the second car, we have Chris and Jared. This is the first time that we get to see inside of the Teslas. This is so exciting.
Oh, this is amazing. This is such an amazing view. It almost feels like we get to ride with them in the car.
Chris looking very cool with his sunglasses.
I love it. Almost feels like we get to ride with them in the car. While we watch the crew make their way to the suit-up room, let's take a moment to get more acquainted with our first all-civilian crew. Jared Isaacman is the Inspiration4 commander. He is the 38-year-old founder and chief executive officer of Shift4 Payments. He is a father, husband, and accomplished world record-holding pilot. Jared has flown in over 100 air shows, dedicating every performance flight to charitable causes, and today's flight is no different. The mission is named Inspiration4 in recognition of the four-person crew's mission to inspire support for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. As a part of Inspiration4's public outreach, Isaacman made a personal $100 million commitment to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. He's hoping to raise upward of $200 million to support the nonprofit with this mission. Today's flight would not be possible without Jared's philanthropic dedication. Here's more about the New Jersey native and self-described aviation and aerospace fan.
I grew up in New Jersey, and when I was a kid, I wanted to grow up and be a doctor. My older brother's a doctor. I watched the show ER as a kid, and I thought that's pretty cool. I think, saving lives is a pretty important thing. But, life took me in a different direction. My interest in aviation and aerospace goes back since I was a kid. I mean, the first computer I built, I was playing Falcon 2.0, and then, upgraded to play Falcon 3.0. I went to Aviation Challenge, which is part of Space Camp as a kid. I was a observer of SpaceX from the outside looking in, like a lot of people. And then, my opportunity to kind of see what the inside was like began in October of 2020 when the idea of Inspiration4 started to come about. A big part of what we're trying to achieve with Inspiration4 is to send, an inspiring message really to the world about what is certainly possible up there in space, but also what we can accomplish here on Earth as well, which is why, this massive fundraising effort for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital is such a big part of our mission. To me, having some balance where you're trying to tackle a problem of today so you can earn the right to keep making progress tomorrow is just a philosophy I've tried to live by for some time. The advice I would give my younger self, you can aim high, you can dream big, and even things that people would say is next to impossible, you can accomplish it. I totally believe we all have, that fundamental obligation to leave the world a better place than we found it. I'm Jared Isaacman, and I'm the commander of Inspiration4.
For this first all-civilian mission to orbit, Jared wanted his crewmates to represent the best of humanity, pillars he's identified as leadership, hope, generosity, and prosperity. As commander of the mission, Jared holds the seat of leadership. For the seat of hope, Jared went to St. Jude and was introduced to Haley Arsenault.
Haley Arsenault of Memphis, Tennessee is the medical officer of the Inspiration4 mission, overseeing medical care and experiments. She's a 29-year-old physician's assistant at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, the same place that saved her life after being diagnosed with bone cancer at the age of 10. Haley's treatment at St. Jude included chemotherapy and limb-sparing surgery that resulted in removing most of her femur bone and replacing it with a prosthetic. She represents a couple of firsts for this mission that's already going to be the first civilian mission going into space. Haley will be the youngest American to go into space and the first person to go into space with a prosthetic body part. Here's more on Haley, who occupies the seat of hope on the Inspiration4 mission.
I'm so excited to be going to space, and I'm just a regular person. I am so lucky that I got a phone call asking if I wanted to go to space. I'm from Louisiana. I was a super active, super outgoing kid, involved in everything, and I actually had just gotten my black belt in Taekwondo a couple days before I was diagnosed with cancer. I definitely am excited to represent those that aren't physically perfect. I want to bring this experience back and share with everyone I encounter, and just what this represents for the new age in space travel and who can be an astronaut. I've thought a lot about launch day. I've even had some dreams about launch day, and I still don't know what will be going through my mind. I know I'm going to be
with a T-minus 4-hour situational awareness
Of course, I
briefing.
have the window
We're
seat.
currently
Looking
counting
out the
down to a
window and seeing Earth from space
T000256 UTC
going to
or
be so incredible.
20:02:56
Can't even put
local
into
time,
words. But I'm
with a minimum of
absolutely
2
most
additional
excited
liftoff
about
opportunities
is
if
we're gonna call
required.
the St. Jude patients
The
from
crew are currently in
space.
transit from
And
Hangar X
I'll
to
get
Launch
video
Complex
call these
39A,
kids that I've gotten
Student
to
Room.
treat, and these
The
kids
advanced
went
team
through
is currently on
cancer
the way to the
treatment,
pad to open the
getting
side
show
hatch
them
and
what
prepare
life
for crew
after
arrival.
cancer can look like.
Vehicle gases are at
It's
MEOP.
been incredible
FTS
for me to
check-ins are
watch
complete.
how much this mission has already touched the kids at St. Jude and how much hope it's given them. I love this one little girl I talked to recently. She said, I can't wait to be an astronaut. Like, there was no if in there. She just couldn't wait for it to happen. I think that's what hope is. I am Haley Arsenault, Medical Officer of Inspiration4.
As part of the effort to raise money for St. Jude, Jared decided to give away one seat to a person at random who donated to the St. Jude cause. That seat, the seat of generosity, went to Christopher Sombrosky. Christopher Sombrosky of Seattle, Washington, is the mission specialist of today's flight, helping to manage payloads, science experiments, and communications to mission control. He is a 42-year-old mechanical and diagnostics lead at Lockheed Martin and a United States Air Force veteran. As an amateur astronomer, he grew up with a natural curiosity about outer space and even worked as a U.S. Space Camp counselor. He was awarded the Seat of Generosity after contributing to a special fundraising campaign for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Let's meet Chris, the Inspiration4 mission specialist.
When I found out I was going to space, I was dumbfounded. I think I was just struck dumb for days. The seed was planted for me to fall in love with space when I was little and started launching little rockets in my front yard with my dad, the first of which is still probably stuck in a Florida pine tree somewhere. But when I first saw a space shuttle launch in person from the causeway, 6 to 8 miles away, you could still feel that rumble pounding through your chest. That kind of just shifted my foundation a little bit, and I knew from there on out I had to be somehow a part of space, whether it was helping support a mission or lobbying for folks to be able to go into space. That's where I wanted to be. Of course, I'm going to be looking down at my home in Western Washington. I'm also looking to see what I don't see, and that's going to be lines on a map or those walls that seem to separate all of us ideologically or politically or even geographically or physically. Those don't exist when you get far enough out, and I'm really hoping to bring back that sense of what it means to only have that one small line that matters to all of us, and that's the atmosphere that keeps us separated from the vacuum of space. As we get to launch day, I am gonna have the biggest smile going ear to ear. It's gonna be, I'm gonna be shaking with excitement. No fears or jitters at all about what's going to happen, but man, that's gonna be a heck of a show. I'm Chris Sombrosky, mission specialist of Inspiration4.
As an entrepreneur beginning in his teenage years, Jared reserved the 4th seat for someone who exemplified the entrepreneurial spirit. This 4th seat, representing prosperity, was awarded to Dr. Cyan Proctor. Dr. Cyan Proctor of Tempe, Arizona is the pilot on board today's flight. She's a 51-year-old entrepreneur, educator, trained pilot, and active voice in the space exploration community. Her motto is Space to Inspire, and she encourages people to use their unique, one-of-a-kind strengths and passions to inspire others. She uses her space to inspire art to encourage conversations about creating a Jedi space, a just, equitable, diverse, and inclusive space for all of humanity. Dr. Cyan was awarded the Seat of Prosperity after being selected as the top entrant of an independently judged online business competition conducted by the Shift4 Shop e-commerce platform. Let's meet Dr. Proctor, the Inspiration4 pilot.
The day of launch, I'm going to be thinking about how my entire life has led up to this moment. I was born on the island of Guam, and the reason why I was born there is that my dad worked for the NASA tracking station. And so I feel like space has always been a part of me. When I got that call, that Zoom, and Jared was on there and he said that, they picked me for the prosperity seat, that I was going to go to space with him and be part of the Inspiration4, it really was like getting the golden ticket for Willy Wonka. Everything in my life finally came into focus, and I realized that it was all about this moment in time. I won the prosperity seat for Inspiration4, and I did that not as a geoscientist or an explorer or an analog astronaut, which are all on my resume. I actually won this as a poet and an artist. We are striving for that Star Trek generation, that idea of a just, equitable, diverse, and inclusive space, or a Jedi space. I'm gonna be the first Black female pilot of a spacecraft ever. And to me, that just blows me away. And I wanna encourage the next generation to dream that this is possible. And a Jedi space, that's what that's about. I'm Dr. Cyan Proctor, and I'm the mission pilot for Inspiration4.
If you're interested in learning more about the Inspiration4 crew and how they came together for this mission, you are in luck. Netflix and Time have been following the Inspiration4 crew in the lead up to their mission, and the first 4 episodes of the 5-part series are now available on Netflix. The 5th and final episode will be available not too long after splashdown and will include an insider look at their time on orbit.
Yes, the docuseries is really well done. I think it's super cool that just a few days after this mission completes, we'll have the 5th and final episode. So it's almost like we get to experience what they experience real time.
Yeah, I love that part of the docuseries. It's like you get to see the before. We're going to see launch today, and then we'll get a little bit of a recap afterwards. And it looks like on your screen, those Teslas are pulling up to the Falcon Support Building. This is the building that has our new SpaceX suit-up room. So the crew, once they park here, will get out shortly.
Yeah, if you've been following along on previous missions, specifically with NASA astronauts, things look a little bit different today. Typically, we suit up in the astronauts suit up in the Neil Armstrong Operations and Checkout Facility, also known as the ONC facility. That is located a little bit closer to Hangar X, where we saw the crew walk out. For today's mission, the crew will be suiting up in the Falcon Support Building, which is actually located fairly close to the Launch Pad 39A.
There's the crew making their way inside of the Falcon Support Building. And again, just as Andy mentioned, today is not a NASA mission. This is a mission for Inspiration4 with SpaceX. So we now have our own facilities, our own suit-up room that we'll be utilizing today, which they are currently entering right now.
Yeah, so when they get inside, they'll have a mission and weather briefing. They'll also get tablets, which has all the information and procedures they'll need and their schedule throughout the mission. And then they'll also don their spacesuits, the super cool, sleek-looking spacesuits.
Yeah, and the really cool part about this is the process is similar to NASA. We just have different facilities that we're utilizing with some minor things that are a little bit different. But every step of the process is in their process, in those tablets. So even going from Hangar X to getting inside of their Teslas, getting out of the Teslas into the Falcon support building. So every step of this is written out, and they're following it just as procedure.
Yes, yes. Later on in the webcast, we're going to talk a little bit more about what the astronauts have been doing. As Jesse mentioned, not just today, but throughout the last 6, 7, or 8 months, they've been very, very busy. Their schedules are jam-packed. They're learning a lot of things, doing a lot of cool things. But yes, here's a view of the Falcon 9 rocket, and sitting on top of that is the Dragon spacecraft that will be taking them to orbit in just under 4 hours.
Yeah, and just to note, you can see the set on the vehicle. This is going to be a reflown vehicle. This will be its third flight today. And the Dragon vehicle sitting on top is Dragon Resilience, which flew on the Crew 1 mission just last year.
Yes, this vehicle came back in May of this year and has been undergoing refurbishment and checkouts to make sure it is ready for flight. The first stage down below, this is going to be its third time flying. So the Inspiration4 crew has arrived at SpaceX